Yep.
So in Freedom, the Underground Railroad, you have up to 4 players playing as abolitionists. And they're trying to work within the 3 parts of the abolitionist movement. The first part is you have the physical Underground Railroad, where you're trying to free slaves from the plantations and move them up north into Canada to freedom. Now along the way, you have to avoid the slave catchers. Every time you move a cube in the path of a slave catcher, that slave catcher moves 1 space towards wherever the activity was. You also gain fundraising money by moving slaves up. It generates positive word and that there's actually stuff going on. So that's how players generate money for future actions. At the beginning of each turn, slave catchers also move. So here, blue moves 3 spaces in the white direction. So it'd be 1, 2, 3. So it gives a little bit of unknown randomness how the slave catchers are going to behave. Now the second part of the game is the fundraising part. Now you get the money by helping slaves get to freedom in Canada by moving them through the American cities, but then you have to spend that money on these fundraising tokens. These fundraising tokens allow you to unlock the different levels of abolitionist activity. You must buy all these tokens by the end of the game, in addition to gain this many slaves to freedom in Canada to win the game. Now they'll also buy these action tokens. These action tokens are what allow you to move the slaves. You have 3 cubes moving 1 space each, and as you move up in advancement, they get more powerful. And then these are also fundraising tokens, where you get, based off the number of escaped slaves in American cities, you get so much money. So you're trying to develop this economic engine to drive the Underground Railroad. Now the third thing is the political part of the game. You have all these different events in these abolitionist cards, and a lot of them are good things, but a lot of them are also bad things. Now bad events will automatically trigger if they get to the end of the cube.
So it's like a board game?
What you'll often try to do is purchase these cards to trigger them, including the bad ones, so that they trigger at the most opportune time where they have the least effect.
Okay.
So that is the basic game. You're trying to work with these 3 parts. You lose the game when slaves come from the slave market, if there's no room for them in the plantations, if you have not been moving enough slaves out of the plantations, they go to the lost slave board. And if this fills up, you lose. If you do not buy all of these fundraising tokens, by the time you run out of cards, you lose the game. If you cannot fill up this, by the time you run out of cards, you lose the game. So there's a lot of things you have to keep your eye on, including if you just run out of money. If you cannot buy your way to the next level and you run out of action tokens, there's no way for you to generate new fundraising. So there's a lot of little things that, while it's an easy game to learn the mechanisms, there's a lot of deeper strategy in it. Yep.
Great.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, it looks beautiful too.